Ever feel like you need a PhD in physics to follow some shows? Like Dark Season 3, time travel, and like a lot of head scratching. But, we still love it.
Yeah, dark makes you pay attention, but even then, there are so many questions.
Right. And that's why we can't stop watching.
Absolutely.
So, Season 3, alternate world, another Martha, different Martha. I mean, whoa.
Right.
It's not just time travel anymore. It's like parallel universes.
Yeah.
And the show uses those little differences between the worlds, to show us how even tiny things matter.
Yeah, it's like every detail is flipped.
Exactly.
Like Magnus, in one world, tattoos, dating a girl who speaks. In the other, no tattoos, and his girlfriend uses sign language. So it's saying even small choices can have these, huge consequences in different realities.
It's that whole butterfly effect thing, Step on a bug, change history.
Yeah.
A little scary, but also kind of makes you think about the choices we make.
It definitely makes you think about fate versus free will. Can we actually change anything, or are we all on a set path? They try to stop the apocalypse, but everything they do just makes it worse.
So, like a loop? But then there's the whole thing about being both dead and alive, like Jonas. I mean, how do they explain that?
Quantum entanglement, they call it. Basically, two things, even far apart, they're connected. Change one, you change the other instantly. So Jonas and Martha, their fates are, tied together. It's how Jonas can be the stranger Andy Adam,
Oh, wow, that's heavy. Two sides of the same coin at the same time. Give me a sec to process that. But before my brain melts completely, what about that creepy trio guy? Cleft lip, shows up as a kid, an adult, and an old man. Always lurking, killing people with that string thing.
Yeah.
What's his deal?
He's one of the biggest mysteries, connected to everything, but no name, no real explanation. He's the embodiment of the show's creepiness. Always there to remind us something is wrong. Very wrong.
And in the family tree, oy vey, talk about messy. Jonas and Martha are their own ancestors. It all comes back to their son, the unknown. He's the missing piece.
Yeah, the unknown is more than just a son. He's the key to the whole thing. He's the one who fathered Tronte Nielsen in both worlds. That's what makes Jonas his own great-great-great-grandfather.
Time travel, huh?
Hold on. So Jonas is his own ancestor because of time travel. Okay. Yeah. But it gets crazier, right? The unknown isn't just their son. He's the origin, the start of everything.
Exactly. It's deep. Their love, which goes beyond time and realities, it's the beginning and maybe the end of this whole mess.
Okay, but we haven't even talked about Claudia. She goes from worried mom to, time travel mastermind. And there's that third world, the origin world, where time travel hasn't happened. What's Claudia doing?
Claudia's journey is wild. She's playing both sides, trying to get Jonas and Martha back to that origin world to stop time travel from ever happening.
Whoa, a total reset. That's a big move. Why bother? What's so bad about time travel? I mean, look what it does. Paradoxes, unintended consequences, all this suffering. Claudia thinks that by erasing time travel, she can end all that pain in Winden.
So all those people who died in the other worlds, they just stop existing. Do they even have souls? It's like, what makes a life real if you could just wipe it out by changing the past? Dark really goes there.
It does, and that's why it's so fascinating. What is reality, Makes you think maybe our reality isn't as fixed as we believe.
Okay, my brain needs a break. But before we go, can we at least talk about that last scene in the origin world? Pregnant Hannah, she has this deja vu and thinks about naming her kid Jonas. Time travel's really gone. Or is it still out there somewhere?
It's an ending that gives you hope, but also kind of creeps you out. A world without all the darkness and pain, but then you get those hints. Deja vu, thinking about Jonas. Maybe the past isn't as easy to erase as we think.
That's what makes Dark so good. It doesn't give you the answers. It leaves you with more questions. We want to understand, to figure it out, to find the truth.
Right, that's what keeps us coming back. It makes you think, make theories, and really engage with it. It's not just entertainment, it's a challenge, a puzzle. And maybe even a way to learn about ourselves.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think, what is reality? And it sticks with you, makes you question time, reality, even your own choices.
It's definitely changed how I think about stuff, like making decisions now. I always wonder, what impact will this have on the future or even the past? Crazy, right? But back to Claudia for a sec. It's amazing how she goes from clueless about time travel to, the puppet master. She's pulling all the strings.
It shows how smart she is and determined. She never stops learning about time travel. And she'll do anything, sacrifice anything for what she thinks is right.
I know. She lets her own daughter die in one world so she can live in another. Talk about commitment. And speaking of sacrifice, Jonas and Martha, the ultimate star-crossed lovers, meant to be, but time keeps ripping them apart.
Their story is so sad, drawn to each other, but different realities, fate, everything's against them. It's tough to watch them fight, knowing it's pointless. No matter what they do, they're pulled back into that time travel vortex. And in the end, their love is what breaks the cycle, right? They go back to the origin world, not to save themselves, but to stop time travel completely.
That's the thing about their love. It hurts them, but it also saves everyone. By giving up their own happiness, by choosing to disappear, they create a world without time travel. A world without all that suffering.
It's happy but sad, you know? They save everyone, but at what cost? And all those other characters, the ones who died, are they just gone? If a time travel never happened, did their lives even matter?
That's the question, isn't it? What happens to them? Do they just stop existing? Or is there something more?
It makes you wonder about, like, what does it even mean to exist if changing the past can wipe you out? Heavy stuff. But speaking of heavy, the origin world. It's almost peaceful after all that darkness in the other worlds.
Yeah, it's a world full of possibilities, like a blank slate. Everyone gets a chance at a normal life, no baggage from the past. Like, what could have been if time travel never happened?
Right. Like, people are just living, dinner parties, worrying about the power going out. It's almost boring compared to the other worlds, but in a good way.
Yeah. It reminds you that even with all the chaos, there's still beauty in those normal, everyday moments. But even in the origin world, there are those little hints that things might not be so simple.
Exactly. Like, it's not just a happy ending. There are all these questions, these moments that make you think, is the past really gone?
Like Hannah's deja vu, right? Dreaming of a world ending in darkness and then thinking about naming her child Jonas. It's like those echoes of time travel are still there.
It's like the show is saying you can't run from your past. Even if you erase it, it's still there, shaping you. But what about the yellow raincoat? It's in the origin world, even though Jonas shouldn't exist. What's up with that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's like even though Jonas is gone, he's still there somehow. So many questions. Are parts of the other worlds bleeding through? Or are the creators messing with us?
Knowing this show, probably both. But that raincoat, it's like a big question mark over the whole ending. Makes you wonder, is the origin world really free from time travel?
And that's what makes Dark so good. It doesn't give you easy answers. It leaves you thinking. It makes you wrestle with all those big ideas about time, fate, free will, even after it's over.
It's a show that gets better every time you watch it. You see new things, new connections, new layers, like one of those Where's Waldo books. But instead of Waldo, you're finding hidden symbols and clues. And the show is full of those moments where you're like, aha, I get it. Everything clicks. Like how they use certain objects to connect everything. Across time, I mean.
Yeah, those recurring objects are like genius. It's how they tie all the timelines together. Like, hey, this is all connected. For example, take the St. Christopher pendant. It starts with Hannah, then goes to Helene, then Katharina, and ends up with Jonas in like 1888.
Whoa. So it's like these objects, they're not just things. They carry history. They go from person to person, generation to generation, affecting everyone they touch.
Exactly. And don't forget the gold pocket watch. Tannhaus, Charlotte, Noah, back to Tannhaus. It's a big reminder that time isn't a straight line. It's a circle.
Everything's connected. So does that mean we're not really in control? Are we just playing out some pre-written story?
That's Dark's big question, right? Free will or destiny? But does it give us an answer? No. It shows both sides, so we get to decide what we believe.
You've got Adam and Eva. They think everything's set in stone. We're just like pawns in a game. But then Claudia, she fights back. She thinks we can change things, break the cycle.
And she's the one who unravels the knot, right? She uses that moment where time freezes to send Jonas and Martha back. So maybe, even if everything's already decided, there's still a little bit of hope. Free will. Change. I don't know.
It's trippy. Makes you think. Maybe trying to change things was always part of the plan. Whoa. But that's what's great about Dark, right? It doesn't give you all the answers. It makes you ask more questions. Makes you think. Question what you believe. Embrace the mystery.
It makes you think about everything differently. It stays with you. It makes you want to go back, watch certain scenes again, figure out why characters do what they do, find all those hidden meanings.
It's definitely a show I'll be thinking about for a while, and one I'll recommend to anyone who loves a good, twisty mystery. Something that makes you think about time travel, reality, all that.
It's a masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. Just be ready for a wild ride.
And be ready to rewind a lot.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun. Figuring it all out, putting the pieces together, understanding those crazy ideas Dark throws at you.
It's a show that makes you pay attention. But it's so worth it. An experience you won't forget even after it's over.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, time for us to leave Winded and go back to our own reality, at least for now. But if you're like us, always up for a good, mind-bending show, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're always looking for the next crazy story to break down with you.